We usually assume that the people in charge of history, the kings, popes, and generals were rational, serious leaders. But every now and then, the mask slips, and we realize that the past was filled with decisions so bizarre and reckless that they defy all logic. From a government plotting to blow up the moon just to show off, to a trial where the defendant was a rotting corpse, here are 3 random historical facts that prove humanity has always been a little bit crazy. Let's start with one of the most terrifying secret plots of the Cold War, Project A119. In the late 1952s, the Soviet Union was winning the space race. They had launched Sputnik, and the United States was desperate to do something big to prove its dominance. So, the U.S. Air Force came up with a plan. They were going to nuke the moon. The idea was to launch a nuclear missile at the lunar surface, specifically along the Terminator line, the border between light and dark, so that the explosion would create a massive dust cloud illuminated by the sun. This mushroom cloud would be visible from Earth with the naked eye, serving as a terrifying show of force to the Soviets. Amazingly, this wasn't just a drunk idea in a bar. Top scientists were hired to work on it, including a young Carl Sagan, who was tasked with calculating the expansion of the dust cloud. Thankfully, military officials eventually canceled the project, realizing that the public backlash would be severe and that a failed launch could accidentally drop a nuclear bomb on American soil. They decided to send Neil Armstrong instead, which was probably the safer choice. If nuking the moon sounds extreme, let's look at the darkest legal proceeding in religious history, the Cadaver Synod. In January 897 AD, the Catholic Church in Rome had been going through a period of intense political instability. Pope Stephen VI decided to put his predecessor, Pope Formosus, on trial for perjury and illegally accessing the papacy. The problem was that Pope Formosus had been dead for 7 months. That didn't stop Stephen. He ordered the rotting corpse to be dug up, dressed in official papal vestments, and propped up on a throne in the courtroom. A deacon was assigned to stand next to the corpse and answer on its behalf. Pope Stephen screamed at the dead body, accusing it of crimes, while the silent corpse stared back. Unsurprisingly, Formosus was found guilty. His papal robes were ripped off, the 3 fingers he used for blessings were hacked off his hand, and his body was dragged through the streets of Rome and thrown into the Tiber River. The spectacle was so gruesome that the public rioted, and Pope Stephen himself was imprisoned and strangled shortly after. Finally, let's talk about the only time the entire Roman Empire was sold to the highest bidder. In 193 AD, the Praetorian Guard, the elite soldiers who were supposed to protect the emperor, assassinated Emperor Pertinax. Realizing they held all the power, they decided to cash in. They brought the ultimate prize to the ramparts of their camp, the throne of Rome. They announced an auction, stating that whoever paid the most money would become the next emperor. 2 wealthy senators, Sulpicianus and Didius Julianus, actually engaged in a bidding war. Sulpicianus offered 20,000 sestertii per soldier. Julianus, fearing he would lose, shouted out a bid of 25,000 sestertii per soldier, effectively offering millions of dollars in today's money. The guards accepted, opened the gates, and hailed him as emperor. Didius Julianus bought the world, but he couldn't buy loyalty. The Roman people and the generals in the provinces were disgusted by the shameful auction. Civil war broke out immediately, and Julianus was executed just 66 days later. His reign remains a lesson that some things, like power, cannot simply be bought. If you enjoyed these strange stories, please like and subscribe.